Welcome to this video on software design patterns for better code. In this video, we will be discussing the importance of software design patterns and how they can help you write better code. Software design patterns are reusable solutions to common programming problems. They are tried and tested solutions that have been developed over time by experienced programmers. By using these patterns, you can avoid common mistakes and improve the quality of your code. In this video, we will be discussing some of the most common software design patterns, including the Singleton pattern, the factory pattern, the observer pattern, and the decorator pattern. We will also be discussing the benefits of using these patterns and how they can help you write better code. So, whether you are a beginner or an experienced programmer, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of software design patterns and how they can help you write better code. The Singleton pattern is one of the most commonly used software design patterns. It is used to ensure that a class has only one instance, and that instance is globally accessible. The Singleton pattern is useful in situations where you need to ensure that there is only one instance of a class, such as when you are working with a database connection or a configuration file. By using the Singleton pattern, you can ensure that there is only one instance of the class, which can help to reduce memory usage and improve performance. To implement the Singleton pattern, you need to create a class with a private constructor and a static method that returns the instance of the class. The static method should check if an instance of the class already exists, and if it does not, it should create a new instance. While the Singleton pattern can be useful, it is important to use it judiciously. Overuse of the Singleton pattern can lead to code that is difficult to maintain and test. In the next segment, we will be discussing the factory pattern, another commonly used software design pattern. The factory pattern is another commonly used software design pattern. It is used to create objects without exposing the creation logic to the client. The factory pattern is useful in situations where you need to create objects that are similar but have different implementations. For example, if you are creating a game and you need to create different types of enemies, you can use the factory pattern to create the enemies without exposing the creation logic to the game code. To implement the factory pattern, you need to create a factory class that has a method for creating an object. The method should take in a parameter that specifies the type of object to create, and it should return an instance of the object. The factory pattern can help to improve code maintainability and flexibility. By using the factory pattern, you can change the implementation of the objects without affecting the client code. In the next segment, we will be discussing the observer pattern, another commonly used software design pattern. The observer pattern is used to maintain a one-to-many relationship between objects. It is useful in situations where you need to notify multiple objects when a change occurs in one object. The observer pattern consists of two main components, the subject and the observers. The subject is the object that is being observed, and the observers are the objects that are notified when a change occurs in the subject. To implement the observer pattern, you need to create a subject class that maintains a list of observers. The subject class should have methods for adding and removing observers, as well as a method for notifying the observers when a change occurs. The observer pattern can help to improve code flexibility and maintainability. By using the observer pattern, you can decouple the subject and observer objects, which can make it easier to change the implementation of either object without affecting the other. In the next segment, we will be discussing the decorator pattern, another commonly used software design pattern. The decorator pattern is used to add functionality to an object dynamically. It is useful in situations where you need to add functionality to an object without changing its interface. The decorator pattern consists of two main components, the component and the decorator. The component is the object that is being decorated, and the decorator is the object that adds functionality to the component. To implement the decorator pattern, you need to create a component interface that defines the methods that the component must implement. You then create a concrete component class that implements the component interface. Next, you create a decorator class that implements the component interface and has a reference to the component object. The decorator class adds functionality to the component object by calling its methods and adding additional functionality. The decorator pattern can help to improve code flexibility and maintainability. By using the decorator pattern, you can add functionality to an object without changing its interface, which can make it easier to change the implementation of the object without affecting the client code. In conclusion, software design patterns are an important tool for writing better code. By using software design patterns, you can avoid common mistakes, improve code maintainability and flexibility, and create code that is easier to test and debug. We hope that this video has been helpful in introducing you to some of the most commonly used software design patterns.